Okay, I think I'm connected to audio. So yeah, hey everybody. It's nice to see y'all. So today I'm doing something a little bit different. I am doing a live Q&A about whatever you guys are struggling with. I'm going to give y'all advice and tools on how to overcome what you are struggling with. Several people commented on my post yesterday, things that they were struggling with, so I'm going to be covering that. And then, yeah, if anybody attends live through Facebook or through the Zoom link, y'all are welcome to ask questions live. And sorry that I got started a little bit late today. Normally I do this at 6:30 Central Time, but I had a little master class that I was attending. So now we're starting at 7 Central Time. So let me make sure the audio is working real quick, actually. Yay! It's working. Okay, awesome. Yeah, so if you guys have any questions, just let me know. But let's go ahead and cover some things that you guys said y'all were struggling with. So Jacob said that he was struggling with consistency and impulsiveness. Now, so when it comes to consistency, like consistency in whatever your program is, whether that's diet or routine, the first step that I would recommend is like, what do you really want? Do you really, and I'm saying this for everybody who struggles in the same area, like, do you really want to stay where you've been for years? Like, do you want to stay whether you've been overweight or struggling with your strength or struggling with health issues, struggling with your hormones, anything like that? Do you want to stay where you've been the last several years or however long that it's been? So ask yourself that question. What do you really want? And if you really do want a change, you are going to have to change something about what you've been doing these last several years. So that's going to look like, changing your diet, changing out how you exercise, all of those things. So ask yourself, what do you really want? And if it's important to you, then you will commit to making a change. So that's the first step when it comes to consistency. The second step, I would say, and this is key for a lot of people, is people tend to go to extremes with their diet or their exercise routine. They think that they have to, they have to eat only chicken and broccoli every meal. That's the only way for them to get their goals. They have to eat 100% clean. And if they don't eat 100% clean, then they think that, everything is going to go to waste. And then, but they can't adhere to that long term. Like, practically nobody can adhere to that long term. There are some people, but that's definitely not the only way to reach your fitness goals. So, and then the other situation would be like, the other example of going to extremes is like not exercising at all and then going to the extreme of, okay, I have to work out every single day until I reach my goals. And a lot of times people will say those things when they're motivated. But the thing is, motivation is going to come and go for literally everybody. You're not going to feel motivated all the time. Steve Jobs probably didn't feel motivated every single day, every single moment. Any successful person doesn't feel motivated 24/7. But the difference between unsuccessful people and successful people is the successful people rely on self-discipline, making them do the things that they know they need to do to reach whatever their goals are, even when they don't feel like it. And so when it comes to being consistent, again, choose something that is sustainable, something that has a more balanced approach. Like, for example, allowing yourself to have treats every now and then, or the quote unquote unhealthy foods every now and then. Have a more balanced, sustainable approach. Like, approach your diet in a way that you can sustain for the rest of your life, like that still delivers results, still gets you healthier, still has you lose the fat, but something that you can sustain for the rest of your life. So those diets that are like quick fixes, like lose 30 pounds in 30 days, yeah, you might be able to, but you're more than likely going to gain all that fat back. And very likely, if you lose fat that quickly with those extreme quick fix diets, you're going to lose a lot of muscle mass too. And so you end up looking skinny fat. So on the topic of consistency, assess what you really want. That's number one. And then two, start practicing baby steps, like a more sustainable approach to your nutrition and training. And if you guys need ideas on how to do that, just let me know. I can give you guys like actionable steps to take that helps you to sustain things long term. Colton says chicken, broccoli, and rice. Haha, the Hollywood diet, right? Yeah. Whenever so whenever you see like the really fit guys like Thor or Chris Pratt, whenever they're getting ready for a role, they will put them on those really extreme diets like that. But they do get in shape really fast. But I would say a lot of them, especially the men, they put them on steroids too. So that's why they're able to progress so quickly, add so much muscle mass, get super lean really quickly. But yeah, chicken and rice every day, you know, most of your meals, it's not going to be sustainable, and most people are going to gain the weight afterwards. Okay, so let's see. By the way, if anybody has any questions or anything you're struggling with, just comment or join the Zoom live and we can talk. Let's see. Colton said overeating on cheat days. So Colton, my question to you would be, I know you said that you tend to have this mentality of like all or nothing. And I understand that I've been there before where I went to extremes as well with my diet. So, and again, I think the key for you is choosing something that's more sustainable. Like stop going to the extreme of like a perfect diet. Because when you go to this perfect diet, like you're gonna have those temptations of like you're gonna want to eat the donuts, you're gonna want to eat the pizza, especially because you're telling yourself you can't have it and reach your goals. But you can if you do it in a sustainable way. So my recommendation for you would be choose a more sustainable route, something where you eat mostly healthy, like mostly whole foods, like probably 80% of the time, but allow yourself, like, you know, whether it's having dessert every day after your main meals, or whether it's, you know, 2 days out of the week, you maybe have a quote unquote off meal. So, and I've been there before. Like, and going to extreme was not helpful for me. Like I ended up having like horrible binging urges back when I was trying to eat perfect and telling myself that I couldn't have certain types of foods, otherwise I wouldn't reach my goals. But now that I've learned how to like eat sustainably, allow myself to have the occasional treats when I want it in a balanced way, I literally have no more desire to binge. I'm satisfied with just a little bit of the like unhealthy foods. And so I'm in a much better place, like not just physically, like my body feels better because I'm more consistent long term because I'm more balanced, but also my mentality behind it. I don't feel like tortured, like I can't have this food, but I want it so bad. Hey Eddie, if you have, we're covering live Q&A, so if you are struggling with anything health or fitness related, just comment below and I will cover what you're struggling with, giving you tips and tools how to overcome it. Bradley said, okay, he basically said the same thing. That would be my same recommendation to you, Bradley, is a more balanced approach. Adolfo said energy and focus levels for a very active life and demanding work. So if you're struggling with energy and focus, it could be two issues. Either you are not, actually three, either you're not sleeping well enough, If or long enough, you should be getting at least 6 hours of sleep every night, nothing less. And you should wake up feeling rested. If you're struggling with sleep, I have a training and a guide showing you how to improve your sleep naturally. So I would target that. It could be maybe you are not nourishing yourself enough. If you diet for too long or too severely, that is added stress on your body. And if your body is feeling starving for a long time, not only will it slow down your metabolism, but it'll also burn through your nutrients really quickly and you'll become nutrient deficient, specifically mineral deficient. And if you're mineral deficient, you're going to have a hard time sleeping. And one of the reasons why is because your body feels like it's in survival mode. So it's like, I don't feel like I can sleep. It's not safe. I need more fuel. I need more food. And so it causes like adrenaline to basically chronically pour through your body. And that can be what's hindering you from sleeping. But I do have a really helpful training on all of that stuff to combat all of that, improve your sleep. The other thing it could be is you're doing too much. A lot of people overtrain. They do way too much cardio. They work out way too frequently, not enough rest days so that their body can recover. And again, all of that is added stress. If your body is not able to recover from the activity that you're doing, whether that's a physically demanding job or just doing too much training, that is going to impact your energy levels and your sleep. You're going to feel chronically fatigued and your focus is going to be very low mentally. So I would address all of those first. If you need help on determining what would be a better routine for exercising so that you're not feeling drained and sluggish and, mentally not there, then just let me know and I can pass along some ideas. By the way, guys, this is why you should attend live, so that you can ask questions as I am covering things that you're struggling with. Eddie Guzman says, congrats on my film. Thank you so much. And Eddie said, feeling sluggish. Yeah, so it could be poor sleep. It could even be, although this applies to you too, it could be your circadian rhythm is possibly out of sync. So your circadian rhythm is your biological clock. It's the clock that your body works off of, like physiologically. Because we are designed to optimally, our bodies are designed to optimally work during the daylight and sleep during the night. And when our circadian rhythms are properly synced to the light and dark cycles, our bodies are able to release hormones at the right times and in the right amounts. You should feel most of your energy naturally during the morning and the afternoon, and slowly start to, become more calm and peaceful in the evenings. But that's if your circadian rhythm is properly synced. If it's not, you'll see a lot of people who they don't wake up with energy, or they have an energy slump after lunch, feeling fatigued after lunch. And a lot of people will have like a ton of energy at night when they're supposed to go to bed. So that could be another thing. Let's see. Okay, I think I covered that. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. So Lakeisha says her water intake is poor and relationship with food is bad. So Lakeisha, what I said earlier in the beginning of the training about a sustainable approach with food, that is going to be one of your best options. Also, I know that sometimes you forget to eat. That's going to be a big hindrance towards both your fitness and your health, and particularly with losing weight. If you don't eat regularly and you're not eating enough calories for a long period of time, your body is going to slow down its metabolism. So even though you're eating very little food, if your metabolism is slower, you end up gaining weight, or you just have an inability to lose weight. So it's so important, especially for women, that you eat regularly. The reason why it's especially important for women is because our bodies respond differently to being hungry for longer periods of time. It adds on more stress for women. And women's bodies are particularly susceptible to extra chronic stress, because like for our hormones to operate optimally, our body has to feel safe. And if you're not eating regularly, your body's not going to feel safe. You're going to be running off of adrenaline, but then over time, your adrenals are going to become fatigued, and you're going to become very mineral deficient, and in turn that's going to slow down your thyroid. So it's so important that you eat on a regular basis, specifically during the light hours. So you shouldn't be eating during the night, but you should be eating during the day when there is sunlight. I mean, again, that ties into your circadian rhythm and releasing hormones at the right times and the right amounts. So if you're struggling with like forgetting to eat food, one thing that you could try is have a regular alarm. As soon as you wake up, first of all, drink your water, eat breakfast, and then set an alarm for every like 3 to 4 hours reminding you to eat. And even if you have a lot going on, just make it a priority to stop what you're doing and eat your food, and you will feel a lot better. As for water, you could just go cold turkey if you're drinking other liquids like, sodas, sweet teas, things like that. Go ahead and cut those out and just replace it with water. But if you want something that's a little bit more sustainable, like I was talking about with eating food and having your diet and nutrition being more sustainable, something that you can adhere to long term, then you could try something like every other drink is water and whatever else you have, like soda or tea, but every other drink is water. You make yourself drink water instead of soda or tea. And then it also helps if you have water on hand at all times. So I have this water bottle with me at all times, like literally. It's 24 ounces, and I take it with me everywhere I go. It's always on my desk when I'm working. And when I first began, I too had to make myself drink water, because I used to be that person who only drank maybe a cup of water a day. And I wasn't drinking other liquids. Like I know a lot of people like drink sodas and like teas in place of water, but back then I wasn't drinking anything but my 8 ounces of water a day. So it was crazy. That's so bad for you. So yes, at first I had to make myself drink water, but once you're consistent with that, your body will adjust to it, and your body will naturally crave drinking more water like it's supposed to. So it does get easier. So my recommendation to you, set timers for drinking water. You could make yourself drink water before and after your meals if you have trouble remembering to drink water, and get a water bottle. I would choose glass or metal. You don't want plastic, because plastic can leach into the water and that can mess up with your hormones. Let's see, and also, okay. Let's see, what else? What other questions? Billy Carroll said stress eating, which affects all of the above, fitness and health. So if you're stress eating, you're probably not eating enough in the first place. I know that you do intermittent fasting, which it can be a useful tool in helping you to eat less. But again, if you're not getting enough calories, that will slow down your metabolism, and it will increase your ghrelin hormone, which is what drives hunger. And so you will feel hungrier more often. If you're just eating purely because of stress, like you're not feeling hungry, Again, you're probably not eating enough calories and you're probably not eating enough carbs. Usually when people stress eat, they go for carbs or like carby fat foods like fried foods and stuff like that. And a big reason why your body could be reaching out for carbs during while you're stressed is because carbs have a shutting off effect on cortisol, and cortisol is a stress hormone. So carbs are really cool in the sense that like they help to like shut off your cortisol and bring it down. So it could be that you're not eating enough calories in the first place and or not enough carbs. So ideally, if that's the case, then you would want to gradually increase your calories and carbs over time. If you do it suddenly, you can run into the issue of gaining weight, which is not necessarily a bad thing. In the sense of like if you're restoring your metabolism, speeding it up, then that's great. But yeah, if you do it too fast and you're not wanting to gain fat, then don't add calories too hot too quickly. Don't add in carbs too quickly either. Give your body a time to adjust to the extra calories and carbs. Also, in general, I personally would recommend just stop intermittent fasting, especially if you're like a high stress person, because fasting is an added stress on your body. When you are fasting, it increases your adrenaline levels. And a lot of times that's what intermittent fasters are running off of. When you fast, it increases your adrenaline levels. But when your adrenaline levels are increased chronically meaning long term, over time your adrenals can become run down, deficient in minerals, and then that can slow down your thyroid. So then you run into the problem of like you're still not eating a lot of food, you're still intermittent fasting, but you either stop losing weight or you start to gain weight. And none of those are good things. So I actually don't recommend intermittent fasting long term. Again, it can be a useful tool if you're dieting, but you should never diet for more than like 12 to 16 weeks at a time. If you're like, moderately out of shape, if you're obese, I would say no more than 20 weeks at a time. And that's in the context of having regular diet breaks within your diet, so that the regular diet breaks prevent your metabolism from slowing down as much. So basically, it helps to keep your metabolism up during the diet process. So intermittent fasting can be useful during the short-term diet process, I would say, for men. But depending on the history, I would say for most cases, it's not a good idea for women. Cool. Let's see. Liz says sugar. I asked for clarification on that, like if it's sweets. If you have cravings for sweets, you could be mineral deficient, like in magnesium, potassium, and sodium. Yes, sodium. So a good idea to help combat sugar cravings is to increase your minerals, particularly salt. Also, like, are you trying to have a perfect diet where you like avoid unhealthy foods like all the time? If so, that's not going to be a sustainable approach, and I recommend trying the sustainable approach that I mentioned at the beginning of the training. Let's see if anybody has any questions live. Jacob says he hated his brief time with intermittent fasting. I get super hangry, haha. Yeah, I know what you mean. I used to do it for years. Because back then, like, I thought it was like super beneficial. I thought it was going to make me burn through fat, like body fat, and I was going to get lean, but like it never did that. There's nothing special about intermittent fasting. It's only useful as a tool if it helps you to feel more satiated in your eating window, because you're able to eat more food, not necessarily more food, but it's more compacted together in that eating window. It's just a useful tool. There's nothing special about intermittent fasting. Jacob says the salt in my water has definitely helped with cravings. That's awesome. Yeah, so for a lot of my clients, especially if they've been mineral deficient in the past, or they have like sugar cravings, I will tell them to like just take a pinch of salt and put it in your water. That'll help to hydrate you, help you to keep more of your water, especially if you're not used to drinking water. A lot of times like water can just pass through you. And we don't want that entirely, like to a degree, yes, but we also want to hydrate the cells. And so if you're getting minerals and salt, you will hydrate the cell itself, the cells within the body, and you'll also hydrate around the cells. So magnesium, potassium, and sodium are great for both of those. And yeah, so I used to struggle with the horrible sugar cravings. Like it was bad. I craved sweets all the time. And I didn't know this back then, but like, man, looking back, like it was so bad. I used to avoid salt like altogether. I would not salt anything. I would not eat anything that like looked like it was high sodium. I would only salt my last meal of the day, and that was dinner, but I would only put a tiny bit. And the reason why is because I thought I would hold extra water if I had salt. And that's just, it's not true. Like, yes, if you're not used to a level of sodium at first, your body will hold on to a little bit more water, but eventually your body adjusts its hormones and it starts to excrete more of that sodium that you're not using through your urine. And so back in 2019, no, 2020, I think it was, I finally started to allow myself to have salt. And my performance in the gym shot up, my energy shot up. I felt so much better all around. And I think it was because I was deficient in sodium for so long. For the longest time, I was like salting everything to taste like crazy. I was honestly getting probably like 20 grams of sodium a day, but I was listening to my body. My body needed that much sodium at that time. And very quickly, within the first week or two, my body adjusted to the extra sodium. My body wasn't holding on to extra water anymore. I was excreting whatever my body wasn't using. So yeah, like I recommend to all my clients, salt everything to taste. Do not be afraid of salt. Do not be afraid of holding onto water. Don't even be afraid of high blood pressure if you have high blood pressure. Salt is not the problem for high blood pressure. It's actually a combination of like processed foods, specifically excess omega-6 oils. So that's like PUFAs, polyunsaturated fatty acids, and sweets, a combination of that. And then it's also a combination, it has something to do with iron. I took a course on this recently. I don't remember the details, but it has something to do with an imbalance of iron and copper. And yeah, so it's very interesting, but salt is not the problem for high blood pressure. Okay, let's see. Chris says having the courage to work out at the gym. Okay, so I totally understand what you mean. When I say I understand, like I can understand why you might feel that way. But fear about having to work out at the gym with other people, it's actually, and a lot of people feel this way, whether they are just starting out in the gym or they feel uncomfortable about their body or feeling unsure about their confidence in the exercises, like they're inexperienced with the specific exercises and they don't feel very confident in them. That's normal for people to feel just uncomfortable in the gym for those reasons. But it's basically an irrational fear. It's something in your mind that is holding you back. And I can guarantee you, everybody else in the gym is not criticizing you for starting a gym routine, for going to the gym. There might be that small select few, like maybe 1% of the gym population who is specifically critical, but that's just a reflection of their bad character. It's not a reflection of you. They have bad character. They are illegitimately judging someone else for starting getting into fitness. And so when you, and I can confidently say this, like I've been in the gym for years, since 2014, no, 2012. So yeah, over 10 years. And I can guarantee you everybody else is just concerned about themselves. They are concerned about how they look in the gym. They are not judging you on how you look or how you are doing in the gym. So you are going to have to practice self-discipline in the sense of like every time those fears pop up within your head, you're going to have to practice pushing those fears out and basically making yourself do what you need to do. Now there are options to work out at home. And I do create at-home workout programs. But I would say, like, don't rely on that. The cool thing about gyms is that there's so much equipment, there's a lot of machines. And so in some ways, you can get better results. Like if you're a more advanced or intermediate or advanced lifter, yes, because of the equipment that's available, you can get better results in a gym, unless you invest in your own gym. But most people aren't going to do that. So every time that you have a fear of going to the gym and what other people think about you, practice self-discipline in the sense of you push those fears out of your mind, tell yourself the truth, which is that everybody's just concerned about themselves and nobody's worried about you. That is the truth. So practice that. Let's see. She also said about drinking water, not drinking water. So you're up to 10 ounces a day now versus not even 10 ounces a week. So that's a good step. For you, Chris, I do recommend taking a baby step approach. So if you're drinking other liquids, you could do the option of alternating your other liquids. Like if you drink a soda, your next drink has to be water. And just taking baby steps, scaling it from there, gradually increasing your water. And over time, your body will naturally start to crave more water. It'll your thirst levels will naturally increase like it should. You're probably chronically dehydrated. And then you could also do the other thing, which is before every meal, make yourself drink 8 ounces. And after every meal, make yourself drink 8 ounces. Or 8 gulps, like whatever it is, whatever you can commit to. And then go from there, and your body will naturally start to crave more water. Samantha said deciding to just cut fast and maybe lose muscle or to recomp. So I actually don't recommend cutting fast for anybody. It's not healthy. It's not going to be sustainable. The only place that I would say that it is permissible to do would be like if you're in a bodybuilding competition and you need to, like, you still have a lot of fat, but you're needing to lean down really quickly. But that is for a specific purpose. That is specifically to look a certain way by a certain date. But there is a healthier way to approach that. Like if you're competing in bodybuilding, you shouldn't have to like crash diet to get to your level of leanness. But I would say that's really the only permissible situation to do that. But you will sacrifice strength, you will sacrifice muscle mass dieting quickly, and you will sacrifice health. And your metabolism will slow down too if you crash diet, if you diet really quickly. So let me go back to your question real quick. So if your metabolism is in a healthy place, like if you haven't dieted severely or too quickly recently, if you haven't tried a bunch of different diets within the past year, then it's likely your metabolism could be healthy. So if your metabolism is healthy, only start in like a slight deficit. So like minus 200 to maybe 500 calories max. A moderate rate to lose weight is max 1% of your body weight every week. So for example, if you're 200 pounds, the max amount of weight you would want to lose in that entire week is 2 pounds. But that's a little bit more aggressive. It can be safer to lose only about half of a percent to maybe like 0.8% of your weight every week, and that'll preserve more muscle mass, that'll preserve more strength. And so at the end, if you take a more slower approach to your diet, you will feel better. Like with your biometrics like sleep, energy, libido, hormones, digestion, all of that will feel better if you diet more sustainably and slower. You'll also look better if you diet more slowly, because you will keep more of your muscle mass, you'll keep more of your strength. When you crash diet or when you lose weight really quickly, a lot of times you can get that skinny fat look. That skinny fat look is where like you look thin with clothes on, but once you get down to a swimsuit or even less, you look kind of flabby. Like you look soft. Like you don't have much muscle definition. Your muscles look small and you just look soft and flabby. The other thing that can happen, depending on how overweight you are, like for really morbidly obese people, you'll see a lot of them, they will lose fat really quickly and they end up getting a lot of extra skin. Another mistake that they make is they prioritize cardio over weightlifting. So if you're prioritizing cardio and you're crash dieting, losing weight really quickly, you're really gonna get that skinny fat look and the extra loose skin like you see on a lot of obese people. And the reason why is they took the wrong training. They chose cardio over weightlifting. There are a lot of people who have been morbidly obese and they don't do cardio, or they only do cardio maybe once or twice a week and they prioritize weightlifting, and they have much less loose extra skin than most other people do who are prioritizing cardio. Okay, so if anybody has any questions, just let me know. I think I covered everybody's questions. But yeah, I appreciate you guys asking questions. I really do. I'm here to help you guys. I want to help y'all. So if y'all are struggling with anything with fitness or health, digestion, skin, hormones, anything, just let me know. Like I help a lot of people with all of these things. So just let me know. I'm here to help you guys. So yeah, I will see you guys next week. We do live trainings every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. So if you want a specific topic that you want me to cover, to teach about, just post in the group and let me know. So bye guys. It was great talking to y'all.